70% of the Swedish land is covered by forest. Even though we have only 1% of the forest cover in the world, we have 12% of the sawn log market in the world. It works well. And this is to benefit, of course, for the landowner, the farmer. They are the one who will gaining on this. Hello everybody, my name is Lennart Long. Since 14 years I'm the international coordinator at the Federation of Swedish Family Forest Owners, which is a department of the Federation of Farmers, the LRF. We are working with the members of the Federation, of course, but we are also working with the members of the three forest owner associations, Södra, Mellanskog and Norra Skog. And Södra, with over 50,000 members, is probably the biggest forest association, as we call it, that we have in the world. The struggle to reach this situation has been a long story, more than 100 years history. We are always having forests in our farms because farmland was digged out of the forest. The forest was always surrounding our house and our farmland, and we used it for domestic reasons, for cooking, for heating and for building. But with the industrialization in the late 1800s and the sawmill industry came and was growing, suddenly our wood became a commodity on the market. So they came to us and asked for our wood. Quite soon we understood that as a single person and with dirty business methods, giving me or us alcohol, and we were supposed to sign contracts that we couldn't read or understood. We understood that this is not fair. This is not the way we want our forest to go away for nothing. And that was the reason why we started to emerging local associations in the villages. The farmers with forests came together to have a decent chance to negotiate a price at the entrance to the village. But at that time we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of small associations, and they also understood by merging these small ones into bigger units, then you also gain in power. So from all these hundreds, maybe thousands, in the middle of the 1930s we were down to 35 forest owner associations, and 10 years ago we were down to 8, and today we're down to 3 forest owner associations, and they are still covering the entire Sweden. Maybe we will end up in 2. We can't have less than 2 associations because that's against the competition laws in Sweden. These 3, they are so big, so they are actually regulating the price, and as we are exporting more than 80% of what we are harvesting and the products that we are harvesting means that we are following the world prices. We are very dependent on that, and no one is cheating anybody. We know the price, and the price negotiations are easy because the family forestry in Sweden is provided that 60% of the wood coming to the industry, primarily sawmill and pulp mills. Now we're coming into an era where they are producing new things. We are producing plastics, they are producing clothes, because now they are able to break down the lignin, the cellulose, the hemicellulose, and they can put the carbon atoms together again. Anything you can do by oil, for example, you can do by wood cells. And how the industry will look like in the future, I don't know. But for the time being, it's the sawmills and the pulp mill that is dominating. And then the rest products, both in the forest, the tops and the branches, as well as the sawn dust in the sawmill and pine oil and other things, rest products in pulp production, that is going to energy. Sometimes to heat the industry itself, but also going into the grid in the communities for heating the homes. And this is a very, very smart way to do climate change mitigation work, because this is replacing the fossil as well as we are managing the land to keep the highest possible growth. So we are replanting after harvest, and then we are harvesting the trees when they are mature, when they start to grow slowly, more slowly. And by doing this, we keep a high uptake of carbon dioxide, and we keep the maximum production of products that can replace the fossil. And this is really good climate mitigation work. In fact, yearly net growth, the growth minus what we are harvesting, that net growth is covering more than 70% of the carbon dioxide emissions in Sweden. And this is maybe a unique situation that has a forestry sector that is providing such a benefit to the climate by absorbing carbon dioxide, because it's growing fast as we can. good organization, a positive state administration. Forest owner associations are that big units with all their capacities for giving you legal advice as well as technical advices and assisting you with your forest management plans, and they will provide you all kinds of services such as planting, harvesting trees, clearing or thinning of the forest. All that can be by the association if you want to have it that way. And this is the reason why we have such a high level of female ownership in the Swedish forest. 40% of the forest is owned by women. So to be a forest owner, female or male, you just have to have good ideas of what you want with your forest, what decisions you want to take, and on what operations you want to do the coming year. Every year we are cutting about 1% of the forest land, and that corresponds to something like 85 to 90 million cubic meters. And the growth is 120 million cubic meters. So we have a net growth of the forest. And it's not because we are not harvesting at time. We are establishing more dense forest with better seeds and better plant material from seed orchards, etc. It's fantastic that we can have such a high growth and that the net growth is covering 70% of the carbon dioxide emissions that we have. So it eats basically all the industrial pollution, all the transport sectors, and it's because we keep the forest growing. So sometimes when people are claiming that we should take forest out of production, we should protect it, as the nature conservatist says sometimes. If we do that, if we leave the trees standing, in the end they stop growing and they will die and they will rotten and they will emit the content of carbon dioxide and the content of energy to the atmosphere for nothing. That is not climate smart. We should have national parks, we should have conservation area, but not for the climate, because they are not a net uptaker. Real forest management, and not the least by families owning land, that is the true climate mitigation action that we are really providing, and it's making maybe Sweden one of the lowest net emitter of carbon dioxide in Europe.